Bonjour, bonjour. Bonjour Les. Bon stream, passe un bon dimanche avec ta famille, des bons films à toi. Bisous, bisous, merci de ton passage. Alors je disais donc, bonjour, bienvenue chez Papy, n'oubliez pas de vous abonner, c'est gratuit, ça mange pas de pain. De mettre la cloche avec la notif, que ça attend que je suis bien en stream, mettre un pouce bleu et un commentaire. Bonjour les. Merci. Ça, je vais pas. Attendez. Oui, j'ai abaissé la musique, ça gueule quand même. Ridicule, je vais l'enlever parce que ça.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you.
Les sous-titres sont c'est pour les chiens.
And I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the
Non, c'est
beginning.
pas le début à 15 ans, j'ai vécu l'âge de 12 ans, mais la moitié de resté. Mais putain, j'ai très venir.
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the
Dans
rooms.
la moitié des pièces m'étaient interdites.
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
L'argent ouvrait directement.
I haven't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
Je n'étais pas rendu depuis l'enterrement de mon frère Lewis.
In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked.
Ma mère m'avait légué une clé sans me dire ce qu'elle ouvrait.
Maybe she thought I'd know. Or
peut-être pensait-elle que je savais que ce mystère s'ouvrait à me faire revenir.
No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
Personne n'était pas vu. Moi, je recommence. Voilà. Je recommence parce que ça va trop vite. Ça me laisse pas le temps de lire. Ça me laisse pas le temps de lire. Ah, mais laisse-moi le temps de lire, quoi. Putain, c'est pas possible. Je ne vais sans doute pas dire grand-chose pour toi, je suis désolé. Madame, mon frère, on était bien clé sans me dire ce que peut-être est-ce que je saurais où. Je vais seulement commencer par le début avec la maison. Laisse-moi 5 minutes, temps de lire. Putain, les mecs, vous pouvez pas mettre un truc lent. Ah, ça se joue.
But I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms. Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately. I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's
Pas
funeral.
trop vite. Hein. Laissez-moi le temps d'arriver là-haut, de voir la phrase. Vous la mettez à 50 km, la phrase.
In her
Oh!
will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked.
Mettez-la à côté de nous,
Maybe
la
she
phrase.
thought I'd know.
Non, mais...
Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
Les sous-titres doivent apparaître sur l'écran, pas à côté. Ça, c'est gâcher le jeu aux gens, ça.
No one had driven this way.
Attends!
But I saw a few hoof prints.
Non, mais j'ai trouvé. Ouais. Allez, c'est bon, j'abandonne. J'abandonne. Voilà. Voilà, un jeu qui va me casser les couilles. T'as pas le temps de lire. Non, on te laisse pas le temps de lire. Les mecs, doubler le jeu en français, ça serait mieux. Hein. Bon, une biche ou un cerf. Non, c'est un cerf.
The truth is,
Oh,
even
mais
after I inherited
pas
the
si
house,
loin que ça, il est.
I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about
Non,
my
mais-
family that only the house knew the answers to.
Attends, avant de parler, laisse-moi le temps de venir voir.
The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it. As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words.
Vous n'êtes pas
Now,
foutu de
as
mettre
a
un jeu en
17-year-old,
français, quoi.
I knew
On est en
exactly
France.
what those words
Mettez les
were.
doublages français.
I was afraid of the house.
Que ça, c'est...
I heard something moving around in the garage.
Ah, c'est juste le chat du voisin. C'est juste un petit chat qui se promène.
I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't. Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
Bon, on devra passer par le garage. Non. S'il y a un petit chat dans le garage, vous me le dites.
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
Oh! Ah là, mais putain, les mecs, quand je me mets comme ça, je veux voir les sous-titres devant moi, pas à côté.
power had been turned off the night we left. For the first time in years, I felt like I was home.
Qui a pas fait la vaisselle, là.
But instead of a family, there were just memories of one. Like how after Louis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
Ah, il y a un chat. Miaou. Miaou.
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth. My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive.
Ah, mon fauteuil. Coucou Claire. Ouais, dans le PSN Premium. Ça y est, ils ont mis les nouveaux jeux dans le PSN Premium. Il y en a un autre qu'on fera tout à l'heure. Le samedi, jugement, c'est le samedi.
Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank.
Ouais.
The table was still a wreck from the night we left. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture.
Je pensais qu'il faut monter maintenant. Attends. Ah, on peut pas y aller.
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed
Attends!
up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
Ça va trop vite. Ah ben, il y a quoi dire là.
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
Bonjour, bonjour les gens.
Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left. Edie's father, Odin, built the original house.
Bonjour Samuel, comment tu vas? Là, je sais pas quoi faire, là, j'ai fouillé partout.
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up. Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him. Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of. Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan. But I had no idea what was behind that door.
Ça, c'est beau. Mais par contre, les sous-titres
It's like I
vont trop
had
vite.
no idea where all this was gonna lead.
On peut pas les ralentir, les sous-titres. Putain, ils auraient dû mettre un système lent sur les sous-titres.
I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage. Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting. I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here, before my mom sealed the doors.
Ah,
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat. The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
Bah putain, elle bouffe les carottes du lapin, carrément, elle. Elle est dégueulasse.
I kept eating and eating.
Ah, putain, elle bouffe même le dentifrice. Voilà. Ouais. Ah, Samuel, tu vas t'entendre avec elle.
I ate a lot of things that night.
Ah ben, dégueulasse. Elle.
Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat.
Elle est devenue un chat.
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared. Mom and Dad didn't even look at me. I jumped and I almost got her.
Bon, il va content le jour, hein.
I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird.
Il est passé où? Ah, d'accord.
I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
Bah, attends. Parce qu'il faut que j'en aille en plus, j'ai trop chaud. Putain, j'ai froid, j'ai chaud. Ah, putain. Ah. Oh. Ouais, est-ce que je prends un moment café en même temps?
Rabbits.
Des lapins. Ça va trop vite. Attrape! Putain, mais c'est quoi ce jeu de merde là? C'est mal dirigé. Non mais reste en haut! Ouais, c'est bon, ça m'a saoulé, ça dégage. Ça va dégager. Oh putain, ça va me casser les couilles cette connerie là. C'est mal fait la visée, elle est mal faite. T'as dit vise pas là où il faut. Ah bah quand même, tu l'as eu.
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger. A mama rabbit.
Ah là. Coucou Ced, comment tu vas? Putain, mais tu le loupes! Là, mais t'es conne ou t'es blonde? Ah, ah. Descends! Ah.
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating.
Coucou Ced, comment tu
I
vas?
was a shark.
Bizarre. Bon, je joue un requin maintenant.
I rolled off the cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever. I wanted fat, juicy seeds.
Y'a rien là. T'as vu la faute toi? Rien du tout là. Ça va, un peu mieux qu'hier. Là, ça, je suis tombé malade, j'étais pas bien hier.
I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
Ah, mais t'es pas foutu de l'attraper?
I grabbed on tight. And when I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed. Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere. I was big, but I moved real quiet.
On peut
I
voir.
wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
Putain, mais on voit rien. Avance. Ah là là, les mouvements sont mal dirigés. Hein. Alors?
After the last passenger, I was still hungry. And to cross the water, I smelt something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it.
Attends.
I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
Serpentard.
I got closer and closer. All my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to be, and we both know I will be delicious.
Bonjour Stéphane, bonjour, bonjour. Ah. Voilà.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
Comment tout va?
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room.
Ouais, ça va un peu mieux qu'hier. Ah, désolé si je n'ai pas pu faire une Delrine hier. J'étais dans un
Her
état
room
pas
is like a
possible.
museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set
Coucou
sail with his
Tim, comment tu
family
vas?
and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house. Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
Très longtemps. Ah, j'arrive, 2 minutes. Voilà, je vais mettre un truc en pause.
Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
Pas moi qui mérite un tapis comme ça rose.
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife, Kay, left on the house was the pink bathroom.
Ouais, bah, c'est moche, hein. Elle est moche ta salle de bain. C'est tout rose.
It was a pretty big trace.
Ah, c'est la salle de bain de Samuel, c'est pour ça.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book. Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Je m'en doutais, hein. Je m'en doutais, mon petit Samuel. Hein.
From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me.
Hein. C'est bon. Par contre, ça va un peu trop vite à mon goût.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin, and that he never talked about him.
C'est bon.
I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it.
Ah, pardon. Je l'avais pas vu.
My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready! Coming!
Bon, on va rester sur la balançoire pendant des plombes. Non. C'est Steven qui fait mon programme. Mais oh. Je sais pas du tout ce qu'il faut faire, ils te disent rien. Mais qu'est-ce qu'il faut faire? Non, il y a God of War, c'est fini ça. Ça m'a saoulé, j'ai arrêté. Ce qu'ils proposent après, c'est que du mode difficile. Moi, je joue pas en mode difficile. Je n'ai pas acheté un jeu pour jouer en mode difficile, j'ai acheté un jeu pour jouer en mode facile. Bon, bah, je sais pas ce qu'il faut faire, bah, je continue un peu. Je sais pas ce qu'il faut faire, on se balance, il n'y a que ça à faire.
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it.
Ouais. Alors, tu fais quoi là? Tu vas pas rester sur ta balançoire pendant 3 heures. Ouais, c'est bon, moi ça m'a gavé, hein, c'est bon. Ça fait déjà 10 minutes qu'on fait ta balançoire, sale connard. Ouais, c'est bon, le jeu s'arrête là. Vous voulez pas me dire ce qu'il faut faire. Ouais, je vais pas me balancer pendant 20 minutes sur ton truc là. Hmm. Ils ont remis les vidéos? Attends. Ils ont remis les vidéos de Far Cry 6? Hier, ils étaient plus hier. Ouais. Bon, je sais pas quoi faire, hein. Parce que c'est... tu peux pas te balancer au-dessus de la balançoire, quoi. Hmm. Ouais, je commence à en avoir marre de la balançoire, là. C'est bon, tu peux te balancer au-dessus, là?
I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that.
Je sens que le gamin...
I'm not gonna tell you again.
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up, then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it.
Je sens que le gamin il va voler dans les airs. Je sais pas pourquoi, mais je sens que le gamin va voler. T'as pas besoin de verre. La verre c'est direct.
I think he'd already made up his mind.
Ouais, je peux pas regarder le chat. Hein. On vous a mis la verre, les gars. Oh. Ah, ça va durer longtemps. Oh. J'ai entendu craquer là. Oula, ça monte de plus en plus haut que haut là. Alors, ça va durer jusqu'à quand?
That's what I want to remember about my brother.
Ça va durer 10 ans ton truc là? Oh! On peut casser tout de suite là? Parce que ça commence à me gaver là. Coupe l'échelle direct. Ouais, moi je vais arrêter le jeu. C'est bon, ça fait 20 minutes qu'on fait ça. Ça faut pas que ça dure 2 minutes. Hein. Faut pas que ça dure 2 minutes.
The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Calvin's story
Voilà.
felt
Putain,
strange.
j'ai cru que j'allait durer 1
When I
heure
was
ton truc
younger,
là.
I remember trying to do the exact
Coucou
same thing.
Martine. Ouais, quelle idée hein. J'ai cru que j'allais gerber là. Je crois que mon déjeuner est en train de remonter là, au bout de 5 minutes. J'ai mon déjeuner qui est en train de remonter.
Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
Eh, dépêche-toi. Je crois que mon déjeuner vient de passer là.
Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
Ah.
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
Ah, qu'on me parle plus de dragons, hein. C'est bon, ça m'a saoulé les dragons.
Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious.
On va pas ressortir. Attends, on me dit pas qu'il faut passer par la salle de bain pour sortir de là quand même. Ah, vivement demain que j'attaque au nous demain. Moi, je vais me faire que des jeux indés pour l'instant. Oh. C'est un souterrain ta
The
baraque.
passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously
Bon
been
appétit,
built for
Ced.
smaller
Merci de
heads,
ton
at least.
passage. Bisous, prends soin de toi. Attendez, je reboot un peu le dashboard. Ouais, je reboot le dashboard 2 minutes. Voilà. Bon appétit, Ced. Merci de ton passage. Merci du like, comme d'habitude. Ah.
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
J'ai l'impression qu'elle est morte ou quelque chose comme ça. Elle raconte une histoire.
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards. Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise.
Bonne journée à toi. Plus tard, un Steven. Bisous, bisous. Prends soin de toi. Merci d'être passé. Repose-toi bien. Amuse-toi bien.
Star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
Oh putain, le sursaut.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages.
Bonjour Pantabu, comment tu vas?
The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
Eh bon, non, on est dans vendredi 13, ça y est là. Oh, la musique
She
mythique.
found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
J'arrête de te casser.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
Ça commence à faire beaucoup de bruit. Ah bah oui, hein. J'ai trouvé mon sac de boxe. Il y a un truc là.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear! Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you're...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
C'est beau, hein. Pas bien qu'il fasse un jeu d'horreur comme ça serait délire. Samuel. Je vais encore me faire un 3 d'auteur direct. Là. On a bien rigolé quand même sur Blair Witch. On s'est bien amusé quand même. Ah. Ouais.
Walter, are you there?
Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And there he was. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
That night, she played her part beautifully. about abandoning Walter, but just couldn't do it. Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned. Wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
Oh. Oh. Obi, qu'est-ce que tu fais là? T'attends quoi?
The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was...
Pizza.
At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter? Hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all.
Pas vrai, j'ai encore ma main gauche qui redéconne.
That's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
C'est pas mal, hein?
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
Bah, fais comme tu le sens, ça, un Bardamu, fais comme moi. T'embête pas trop.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
Ah non, on peut toujours pas aller. Voilà, il y a de la tempête chez moi. Il y a du vent, hein. Il y a la tempête chez moi depuis une semaine, là. Pas bon, ça. Hein. C'est la fin du monde.
It's funny. All those times I played with the music box and never found the basement key.
D'accord, je dois trouver la boîte à musique hein, pour avoir la clé. Ok. Bon, bah, fouiller chaque pièce. Ouais. Deux secondes, j'ai un souci. Putain, j'ai ma main qui vient de se coincer, j'ai la main gauche qui vient de se coincer là. Là, je me dépêche. Hein.
I wonder if that comic was right about there being a key inside the music box near the basement.
Près du sous-sol. Attends, elle est où? Ah, elle est là. Ah, on se fait un billard. Là, j'ai connu ce type de sous-sol, moi, dans une maison. J'ai connu ça.
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
Un tétanos.
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages. I thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
Oula.
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days...
Putain, je l'ai encore ce ouvre-boîte.
That's what kept me
Putain,
sane.
je l'ai encore.
Having
Putain,
a
je l'ai
schedule,
encore celui-là.
living for today. I always
Putain,
expected
je
to
l'ai
be
encore
dead
ce
tomorrow.
ouvre-boîte.
But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything.
Putain, il va nous faire le coup de la boîte pendant 20 minutes.
Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly.
Bonjour Heather, bonjour, comment tu vas?
And then one day, everything just...
Bon, ça vient avant de faire la même chose.
Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave while I still can. I know it's out there somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara and Molly and Calvin. Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left, or a month, or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here.
Oh, ça n'a pas duré longtemps le jeu alors. Hein,
I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
Il reste 3 histoires. Il reste 3 histoires à faire. Bah, il dure pas longtemps le jeu, hein. Il dure au moins 2 heures à peu près. Ouais, bah c'est bon. Je laisse le chat comme ça, j'ai rien à foutre, ça déconne. Allez, j'en retire le chat. C'est bon, ça déconne. Quand elle sera décidée de réparer, je remettrai.
Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter.
Mais bon, ça m'a gavé. Je vais pas perdre mon temps à faire ça. J'ai pas le temps pour ça.
I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made.
Je suis là pour jouer, hein, pas perdre mon temps à faire des trucs.
Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe 2, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
J'en ai marre de perdre mon temps à régler les problèmes du chat. YouTube qui n'a qu'à fonctionner correctement. Un verre. Prends-toi un bon fer à Faragon, ça va passer. Moi, je peux plus pas prendre de verre à Faragon.
I don't know if I should even be writing this.
Je trouve qu'il est plus beau dehors.
Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family. And the history you're a part of. Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now. I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth. And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible. I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house?
Oh bah c'est jamais, hein. C'est un qui crève pendant la construction.
It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils were mine, and 2 had been my fault. Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
Finch, Walter Finch, Edith Finch. Ouais. Ouvre. Ouais, je veux dire pas. Ah, tu veux bien avancer là? D'accord, à la maison, il n'y a plus rien à faire. Ah, peut-être là. J'avais pas vu qu'il y avait un chemin.
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide. Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night.
Et après, il faut aller où? C'est là, il n'y a plus rien là. On peut rien faire là.
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better. She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us. We never found Milton's body, so my mom insisted we were putting up a monument, not a tombstone. There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself. But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Oula.
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common.
Oh, je l'ai fait.
They were both pretty intense.
Attends, avant de faire ça, je fais le tour.
Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
Non, 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 pas d'éternuement le dimanche. Putain, les télés. Tiens, les fameuses télés qui n'avaient pas de télécommande. Qui a connu ça aussi? Ouais. Ouais, qui a connu ces télés-là. Où les grands-parents t'envoyaient changer la chaîne.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Mm-hmm. Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged.
Shouldn't we be leaving?
Just want to get a shot of you, Dawn, then we can take off.
I'm over here, Dad.
Just need to get a shot of you, Dawn, then we can hit the road. Not quite.
Ah, mais on va faire ça pendant une minute, quoi. Ah, d'accord.
What?
Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? Please just take the damn picture.
Hey, language.
I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee.
elle est par là.
Nothing quite like being outside. Hey!
That's a keeper.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Dawn, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years.
Dad!
Good eyes, Dawn.
Ta mère.
Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad, I...
Just breathe. Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Great shot, Dawn! I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay? Sorry, Dawn, just gotta reset the timer.
Je dois faire quoi?
Hang on, kiddo. Just trying to get a shot of the two of us together.
Mais putain, mais... Oh là, tout pour m'énerver, là. Ah, attends avant de prendre la photo, toi. Putain, mais pourquoi c'est coincé, là? Putain! Ah là, ça va m'énerver, là. Ah, ça va m'énerver, là. Non, mais c'est pas possible, non. Ah, arrête de te coincer contre le mur. Allez. Non, mais attends! Le gamin, il prend la photo trop vite. Attends! Je suis pas arrivé en haut, il prend déjà la photo, ce crétin. Attends 2 minutes.
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally
so...
normal, Dawn. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad!
Ah, attends 2 minutes. Ah là, c'est énervant quand les trucs vont trop vite. 2 minutes.
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
Ça va trop vite. Va doucement, c'est fait pour aller doucement, pas aller vite.
Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
Ah, doucement.
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Elle est enceinte de 2 semaines et elle arrive à faire ça. Putain, Putain, mais c'est chiant, t'es obligé de tenir les boutons, quoi. Putain, mais c'est pas possible.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
Mais c'est quoi cette connerie là?
That time's over, Gregory. It's time to... Hold on, sweetie.
Ah, encore une mère indigne, ça. Au lieu de s'occuper de son bébé.
I told you I don't want to talk right now.
I wonder what he saw.
Va t'occuper de ton fils au lieu de t'occuper de ton téléphone, connasse.
He reminded me so much of Calvin. Lost in his imagination.
Non mais c'est la baleine, elle a arrêté de bouger, je pourrais sauter dessus.
I know how silly it sounds. But I worried about a baby being too happy.
Ah, des coins. Ça c'est Samuel, on est en train de contrôler. Ouais.
I feel him slipping away.
Ah.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Mais voilà. Voilà, elle s'occupe de son téléphone au lieu de s'occuper de son môme dans la VR, celle-là.
I wish he could have told us about the world he saw. There's so much I don't understand about Gregory.
Mais t'es
About
sérieux,
everything.
toi?
But I know what happened wasn't your fault. I'm sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
Ah, ça on a fait, ça c'est fait.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get. can't imagine what it was like for her to lose 2 sons after she'd already lost 2 brothers. She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay. Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died. I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet...
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, "We don't need a stepmom," were the words that I
now
remembered.
pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger.
Non. Oh là là, le doigt d'honneur. Ah. Samuel, t'es mal poli, hein? Ah. Là, je ne vois pas, il n'y a rien d'autre là. Il y a d'autres fraises là dans le coin, je vois rien. Il n'y a rien d'autre.
The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent.
Sous la tente. Attends, on va aller voir. Miaou.
The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power, but all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder." wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone. Just you, the wind, sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
Ouais, c'est la fin.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
Combien de temps on a fait? Plus d'1 heure. Ouais, ça a duré 2 heures, quoi. Bah, je crois pas qu'il y a autre chose. Ça, on l'a fait. Attends. Ouais, ça là-haut, on a tout fait. Là, il y a quoi ici? Ici, il y a rien. Je ne vois pas du tout quoi faire. J'ai fouillé partout pourtant. Donc on va y retourner. Hein. Ça, on l'a fait. Ça, on l'a fait. Bon, bah, on va y retourner. Hein. Ouais, elle était pas mal ton lèvre hier. Hein. Ah, j'avais pas vu.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Louis was born a year later. When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal, but it didn't last. The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
Ah, ça va être la dernière pièce, à mon avis, ça va être. Ça va être la dernière pièce, dans l'autre sens. Mais quand même beau le jeu. Malgré que j'ai du mal à suivre parce que c'est en anglais, ça va.
Milton Finch in
La brosse magique. J'aimais bien faire ces genres de petits trucs là. Tu faisais quand tu étais gamin ça. vite ça.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
Attends. Vérifie.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
Ah, il y a encore un truc au-dessus. Ah, ok. Là, je pense que c'était fini. Oh, alors, qu'est-ce qu'il y a? T'as un gros cube, Beyoncé, ne pas arriver à passer?
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Louis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
À mon avis, ça va être ça en histoire et ensuite. Oh putain.
Louis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Louis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Louis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to
Miaou, miaou. Je fais quoi là?
wander. I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth.
Attends.
He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads.
M'occupe des poissons d'abord.
And things that have not names.
Ah, c'est pas le moment d'avoir une crise.
But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more.
Ah, je
I
suis dans
worried
ça.
about him then.
Je peux pas me concentrer sur les deux en même temps.
Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had...
Attends 2 minutes. Ah, bah débouche-toi les oreilles.
From a model employee.
Reboot ton truc.
Tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him.
Ça va durer longtemps?
It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend.
D'accord, à tout de suite.
On the edge of a city he named Lewis Total. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay.
Super Mario,
his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him.
Encore?
He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality.
Putain, mais il va avancer le bateau là.
Minneapolis, until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on.
Ouais. Pardon. Petite pause salée. Ah, putain, mais ça va bien finir là.
In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a handsome queen. The queen was on her own quest for radiant rainbows. followed the sound of her electric sitar. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination.
T'en ferais deux pour refaire ça en même temps parce que...
But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him. He began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
Désolé. Hein. Bon, on fait le tour là. Excuse-moi, mais là, là, ils m'ont mis sur les nerfs. Là. Je ne vois pas quoi faire. Ah, c'est sûr, Bargami, parce que là, je suis écœuré, là.
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions.
Ah, mais Samuel, c'est fermé aujourd'hui, alors j'appellerai demain.
Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on advising him. His queen waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head. And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
J'ai ressenti le truc quand il a coupé la tête, quoi. J'ai ressenti le truc. Wow.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him. On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left. My mom ended up leaving everything behind. What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner.
Ouais, c'est un petit jeu hein, qui est pas mal. Un peu j'ai eu du mal à comprendre au début.
But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
Ah, la dernière. La dernière soirée. La dernière. Sa dernière histoire.
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
Elle a perdu toute sa famille.
To our final night together, and all our final nights apart.
Grandma,
You know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning, okay?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about
Ah ben
what
continue.
happened on the night
Ça
you were
continue,
born.
je vais m'énerver. Hein.
That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean.
Attendez 2 secondes, j'ai un truc à faire, j'arrive. J'essaie de les joindre, mais ça répond pas.
They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around. For a while, I wandered. I started seeing things.
C'est écrit où? Je ne vois rien.
Things I'd forgotten.
Je parle pas anglais,
ever
moi, mettez les
existed.
sous-titres.
But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it, but she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't.
Oh putain, un passage que je vais pas supporter.
And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you. And tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way.
Non, là, c'est ça, l'accouchement, quoi.
This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all.
À tout de suite, Marc.
Good luck.
Oh, il a raconté l'histoire de sa mère. Putain, c'était beau, hein. Moi j'ai bien aimé. Je sais pas ce que vous en avez pensé, mais c'était beau. Hein. Ah, la fin de tout. Moi, je vais aller me reposer, puis on ira sur Elden Ring ce soir si ça vous dit. Si ça vous dit pas, je le ferai pas. Hein. Ah. Merci, Joël. Ouais, je vais aller me reposer. Parce que là, ça m'a mis sur les nerfs. Je voulais lancer le ligne juste après, mais comme ça, vu ce qui vient de se passer, ça m'a mis sur les nerfs. Je vais éviter de... Ouais. À ce soir, les gens, bisous, prenez soin de vous. Et merci à tous ceux qui sont passés. J'espère que l'histoire, ouais. N'oubliez pas de vous abonner, c'est gratuit, ça mange pas de pain. Merci Steven, merci. Ouais, je te dis à ce soir, Steven, Aver, Martine, Bardamus, Samuel et tous ceux qui ont regardé dans l'ombre, merci à tous. N'oubliez pas de vous abonner, c'est gratuit, ça mange pas de pain, de mettre la cloche à côté, vous aurez que je suis bien en stream, mettre un pouce bleu et un commentaire. Est-ce que j'ai tous les trophées? Est-ce qu'il y a plusieurs trophées à faire sur ce jeu? Parce que j'ai vu qu'il y a des trophées, c'est bizarre ça pour un petit jeu de 2 heures. Attends, je regarde. J'attends que le générique soit fini avant de couper. Ah, il y a 9 trophées et j'en ai que 2. C'est bizarre ça. D'accord. Ils sont pas compliqués à faire. Hein. Merci à ver. Voilà. Puis Martine, je te dis à plus tard ce soir, vu que t'es pas revenu. Voilà. Ça y est, c'est bon. Voilà. L'option rejouer une histoire est maintenant disponible. Rejouer l'histoire. Ah ouais. Ah ouais. Faudra qu'on se le refasse. Et qu'on essaie de se faire les trophées si ça vous dit. Ouais. Bon allez, à ce soir, bonne soirée, bisous, prenez soin de vous. Et je vous dis bisous, prenez soin de vous, et je vous dis à ce soir.